are live. How's that for an intro? That took a long time to figure out how to set up on my computer, and quite rewarding actually. It's nice to have my audio interface set up again, and I bought this MIDI keyboard years ago and I haven't really used it, so it's cool. I could play some sound as I speak here. But yeah, it's the third episode now that I've been putting out, and it's 9:30 at night. It's a lot later than I thought I would be recording this because I was trying to figure out this technology stuff. But yeah, I wanted to start off with a little bit of an introduction, and maybe I'll continue this kind of introduction each time I record a podcast, but I figured out how to add some music to this, so let's try it out. You know, it's been a week now since I've actually been self-quarantined, or you could call self-isolated, socially distancing. I've only seen my family members and my girlfriend in the physical state. And as I said in the last episode, you could look at this global issue right now as a threat or an opportunity. And I'm really trying to look at this as an opportunity to improve myself and to strengthen relationships with those around me. And it's been very rewarding this week to spend some more time with my family and understand what this pandemic is doing to their lives. And I don't know about you, but I've been working at home for the past week, and I've been able to more or less do the same work that I would do if I were at my office. But that's me. Some of my family members, friends, they're out of work now. And it's totally out of their control. And I understand how difficult it could be. And I didn't really want to start off this episode in such a sad note, but it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be anxious, and it's okay to feel like giving up. But we're all in this together. Over the last week, I've been actually able to better connect with people in my life with technology. We have the ability to, with a click of a button, have access to friends in a way that's very much realistic and authentic still with phones. And I find that people are even more present when it's one-on-one on the phone. And this week I've really learned that in this difficult time, it's very easy to be fearful. But the hardest thing is to be optimistic. And that's what I wanted to talk about today is we're all going to have a different journey through this pandemic, COVID-19. And instead of focusing so much on the issue, the virus right now, I want to focus a little bit more into how to manage. And instead of focusing on the negatives, let's focus on the positives here. And the positives that I could reflect on, and again, I'm speaking just straight from my head right now, straight from my heart, is I've really needed to understand what my needs are. And if you're at all familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the very bottom, there's the physiological needs of food, water, and shelter. Honestly, this week, for the first time in a long time, I've been challenged with my basic needs. My parents came back from an international trip, and as they were advised, they needed to self-isolate for 14 weeks, which meant I needed to move out of my house. So I moved in with my older sister. It's no problem at all. I shouldn't say it's no problem at all. I'm very lucky, grateful, and appreciative that my family is able to take me in. But I was stuck back and forth for 3 solid days, saying, no, it's okay, I could live at home. I'm not going to get sick. Mom and dad are not infected. And I was clearly being naive. In the moment, I didn't think I was naive. I thought I was just being logical. But no, I ended up realizing that more people around me were advising me to move out and avoid my parents. And at that point, I realized it wasn't so much that my needs for shelter were challenged, because moving to my sister's was no big deal, but my social needs were challenged. Who would I be able to see during this time? Who do I need to avoid during this time? And I did become a little bit anxious about not being able to spend time with friends, and I'm a fairly extroverted person. I like spending my time with people. Doing things, going on bike rides, playing sports, playing music together. And spending a whole day inside is something I rarely do. So I really had to challenge myself there. And to bring it back to the positivity here is, it's okay to be inside by yourself for all you extroverts out there. It's okay to just lay at home and do nothing, and you don't always have to be out and about moving. At least that's what I've believed in for a lot of my life, and that it's good to stay busy. And I've learned that I have a lot of opportunity this week and the next few weeks to focus on things that I'm really enjoying, like starting this podcast. Like I said in episode 1, if you've listened to it, I wanted to start it years ago, but I never had the guts to. And now it's a great excuse that I'm inside, that I could record a podcast twice a week and do it in a way where I'm on a schedule. So this is something that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was out and about. Other things that I've been focusing on is playing music. And I brought my guitar over to my sister's place. I've been playing a lot of music. I want to share more of that music and record more. I've been drawing and journaling a lot. And there's a bit of a theme here. The theme here is creativity, the arts, reflection. And for me at least, everyone will have something different, but for me at least, the arts is my form of self-expression. And the arts is my form of staying in touch with myself. Through drawing and painting, I'm able to express things that words cannot describe. And over the last year, I've really been working on improving my vocabulary to describe how I feel. And now that we're being challenged with this COVID-19 coronavirus outbreak, I've been much more articulate with my words, but also through sharing art. And it's scary to be able to be this vulnerable and express really how I feel in front of a camera or on a microphone. And even personally with friends, it's not the easiest thing to just bring up in conversation, but I'm really using this podcast as a way to really open up and express how I'm feeling about this whole situation here. And I do definitely see an opportunity to work on some self-care methods, to really give yourself time to relax and cook some nice meals. Enjoy them with some friends or family over a Skype call, or I guess everyone's using Zoom now. Just yesterday we had a big family, cousins, Google Hangout. There were 10 of us, all in different cities, some in the same city, but we were able to connect through the internet. And something that was very apparent to me was this was always accessible to us, but we've all been living very, very busy lives. And definitely this slowdown for me, at least for the last week, has given me time to really give myself some time. And the analogy that I've thought of and shared with some people this week has been the world's heartbeat is slowing down a little bit right now. The world's heartbeat is resting. At least for my adult life, I'm 25 this year. I've never experienced something like this where the entire world is slowing down. And again, slowing down isn't bad. Right now, us as a society, as humans, are given the opportunity to get outside of our autopilot, go, consume, produce way. But with this challenge of, the world versus coronavirus, we really need to think about our actions. And those actions start with you as an individual. So if we want to get through this individually, we need to stay strong. As a group, we need to stay strong. As a society, we need to stay strong. I do understand that the news makes everything very fearful. But how I stay strong is by looking at the news for what it is, their stats. They're big news outlets wanting to get some clicks, some viewers. But it's important to look at it and filter out the negativity and choose how you want to feel about the information. And if you put yourself in a position where you take the right precautions to protect yourself, your family, and your community, that really leaves us with a few weeks of being alone at home with your family or by yourself, to give you that opportunity to, instead of being scared and bored, is to use this time in a way where you can really do things that you haven't been able to do in the past few years, past decade. Clean your room. Learn how to cook some new meals. Start a hobby that you've always been wanting to start. Nowadays with the internet, it's really easy to go online and learn. Start a blog. Start a photography website. Connect with the online community. There's so many people out there that are now logging online and finding communities. Over the last few days, I've got a lot of feedback from you guys into the podcast, and I just want to thank you all for listening. And it's really, really exciting to be able to share my voice on the internet. I've actually taken about a year off from social media. Not fully off social media, but I wanted to give myself a little bit of a break. And it's really, really interesting to think about my reflections of what social media has meant to me throughout my life. But I am going to save that for the next episode. I just wanted to leave, again, you with a little bit of motivation here, that though things are looking grim, people are becoming isolated and distant, it really gives us an opportunity to get closer with ourselves, to your friends and your family, and to understand your own needs and to have them